Hi there, it's Anthony from Evolution Series. I'm very happy to be back just with a quick video. Look, this little free Clar-Duduk that I released, it's been quite amazing actually. I've had a lot of love for it. It's been amazing. I've been quite overwhelmed by how positive everybody's been about it. I mean, I just thought it was going to be a little fun test experiment, but it looks like you guys have been really digging it, which is fantastic. So it makes me happy to hear that you're enjoying it, and I hope you're going to make some great music with it. Now, that said, all this love, I felt a bit of inspiration. Don't want to sound too new agey here, but I went off and thought to do a little update. So let's have a little look and I'll show you what I've done. So here we have an updated GUI. So I based on a little bit of feedback. Now look, ultimately I was trying to reduce the need of going into scripting land too much, but just with a bit of friendly nudging, I was told an attack and release would be a useful feature on there. So okay, so we put an attack and release there. And I think that makes it a little bit easier to have a little play around in that area. Another thing that I've done is, look, I know the whole mod wheel thing, it can be fun, but it also can be a little bit fiddly. I've included key switch versions of the instrument, which is cool for people who would rather just hit a key switch and be able to separate certain techniques instead of having to wiggle the mod wheel to find it easy. But the thing that was two little interesting things that I thought would be fun to try out. First one is I actually went and recorded a few extra samples. I went and recorded a soft vibrato technique and added it to the instrument. And I thought, because it's quite a emotive instrument. So a lot of the techniques are quite strong vibrato swelling. And for me, I love that. That's something I really, really enjoy. And I haven't really heard that in a lot of other instruments of a similar style. But for fun, I went and just recorded a soft vibrato sort of layer just in there for good measure. So it's kind of cool. You can kind of jump in between that soft vibrato layer and then press it a key a bit harder and then jump into a more vigorous emotive vibrato, which is quite handy. The other thing that was really interesting, and I've been a bit of a sample snob for a while. I've always, when it comes to true legato and portamento and all that sort of thing, I've always been more about recording it for real because nothing beats the real thing, But as an experiment, I thought, okay, well, put those thoughts aside, and I wonder how it would sound like with a bit of artificial legato. Now, I haven't really investigated this too much, but I did a bit of research, and there's a couple of ways you can use a slide script in Contact, but it sounds a little bit fake, so I didn't really connect with that one too much. But quite a number of years ago, there was a script created by a fellow called Big Bob. Unfortunately, he's not around anymore, but his memory still remains in this amazing script he created, a legato script, and it really works quite a treat on woodwind instruments. I'm surprised that I never really looked into it more, but it's actually kind of cool. So I added it to the instrument. So here's the new instrument here at the moment. So there's a new GUI, attack, release, and et cetera, et cetera. We go and have a look inside, and I'll show you. There's a script called SIPS. So I added his legato script to the instrument, and in doing so, it actually sounds pretty cool. So I'll have a little play, and you can have a listen and see for yourself. Look, it's not the real thing, but for something that's just a virtual representation of that technique, it's quite nice. So let's have a play. So you can hear a little bit of that soft vibrato sustain I recorded there. It's quite delicate. It's pretty useful actually. So you can start off and go from. See, so you can kind of do some nice soft, and then if you hit the key a bit harder, you can go into a more expressive swell, which is you can create a bit of quite a realistic little vibe going on. And as you can hear that kind of fake legato working in between the notes. It's very subtle, but it kind of glues it together a bit better. So I think it's actually taken the instrument up another little notch, which is very handy. So other than that, the main key changes are the attack and release, added the new softer vibrato-y sustain technique. The other thing I did for the previous version, the staccato samples were placed down an octave, approximately anyway. And I thought for the sake of cleanliness, I would assign, even though it's a mod wheel patch, I thought to separate the staccato and assign that to a key switch. So the left key switch is for all the swelly, sustainy techniques, and the D here will be for just the short staccato-y notes. So let's keep looking here. So as you can see, there are 6 instrument patches. I've created a key switch poly version. So this will allow you to hold down a bunch of notes together. It's more of for a bit of fun. I'll go to that in a mo. And then I've got a key switch fake legato version, a key switch just a normal, so not using the legato script. It's just the same as that, except minus the legato script. Then we have the mod wheel poly version, mod wheel solo fake legato, and a mod wheel solo without the legato script. So let's have a little look at, let's go to the poly mod wheel version. So it's quite cool, actually. You can always have a play with some of the other techniques. Cool. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. Now, we had a question from someone asking if how would the instrument react to Contact's micro-tuning script. And it actually works pretty well. So if I go to... Now, just bear in mind, the micro-tuning script is not very happy when running within the fake legato version. It seems to conflict a little bit with the script. But if you feel like having a play with it, this is what you do. You click on the little toolbar here, click on Script Editor, go to an empty slot, Presets, Factory, Tuning, Micro Tuning. So once you load that, you can have a bit of a play around and experiment with different tuning scales, and you can even come up with something that sounds a little bit more traditional if you like. So it's a handy little option there for people who want to get in a bit deeper and experiment. So other than that, I think this is a pretty cool update. So go and have a play with it, experiment. I'd love to hear some music that you've written with it. It's going to be always exciting for me to know what everyone's getting up to with it. Remember, we also have a competition running. We'll finish end of the month, so please write something cool, submit. You have a chance to win an OOD, copy of the OOD virtual instrument. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. Hope you all have fun with this little update. Cheers.